Are you looking to be part of an industry which is of high demand in the current scenario? How can you be part of those domains? And what are the domains which are of high demand right now? Control system, machine learning, signal processing, deep learning, and robotics are some to mention. And what is common in all these domains? MATLAB. MATLAB is being used in all of these domains for data analysis, algorithm development, app building, and many more. Having a firm hold on the software can get you more opportunities from the high demand domains. I am Tony Tom and I'll be taking you through the basics of MATLAB in this video. So join me.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any new update or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoyed this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on this video any queries or suggestions and I will respond to your comments. Hello friends, welcome to this course on MATLAB. I know many of you might have used the software MATLAB, might have been already working in the software MATLAB. I know many things about MATLAB. At the same time, there are a lot of people who have heard of MATLAB, but don't know how to use MATLAB or don't have access to the software MATLAB, or didn't have actually get the opportunity to interact with the software MATLAB. So all these conditions prevails among a lot of people, right? So here in this course, I'm going to help you how to use the MATLAB, how to access the software MATLAB, how you'll be able to know, even if you don't know coding, how you can do that. So coding and all those stuffs are required in using MATLAB, right? So how you can know? So even there are a lot of people who don't know coding, but who are actually in need of using the software MATLAB. So even if you don't know coding and if you don't know how to use the software and what are the functions or what are the specific applications of software, I'll be guiding you through all of these. Even if you don't know anything on MATLAB, this is a particular course for you where I'll be talking about each and every bits. So each and every basic details will be covered in the course so that you will be able to build up on the software MATLAB in the coming time. So not only that, not only just the basics, I'll also be trying to show you how you can implement things, how can you implement functions, and what are the basic applications, what are the use of having software. All those things will be dealt to you in this course on MATLAB. So stay tuned and let's get started with the course by looking into the agenda or by looking into what all we are covering in this tutorial or in this course on the basics of MATLAB. So in this course, we'll be starting off with the introduction to MATLAB. That is, what is MATLAB? What is actually MATLAB? What does this does for us? What are the applications of MATLAB? How we'll be able to use software MATLAB. Even if you don't know coding, how can you use the MATLAB? What are the various tools available to us? All those things. What a complete basic introduction on MATLAB. I know there are a lot of people who are actually knowing about MATLAB. They might not be knowing on complete details of MATLAB. So they have having a brief introduction on it, but they are vague about it, so they are not very much particular on what actually the software is. So I'll be giving you a brief description on MATLAB, how it works, what are the applications and all those things in this course. The next comes is MATLAB graphic user interface. Next I'll be directly taking you to the platform MATLAB and showing you how it actually looks or how it actually appears to us. So where all we'll be able to give the inputs, where are we supposed to give the codes, and what are the options available to us, where is it available to us, and what are the times where we need to be actually using these options, and where are we looking for it, and where should we actually look for it, and all those details. So I'll be completely getting you onto the platform MATLAB and get you familiarized with the software MATLAB, so that when you actually start working with it, it will always become a familiarity for you, and it will be easy for you to recognize the tools, recognize all those things, and so that you can completely start working on the software MATLAB. Next, I'll be taking you on the next topic, that is understanding MATLAB variables. So what is a MATLAB variable, how we'll be able to use a MATLAB variables, what are the applications of MATLAB variables, how can you create a MATLAB variable, how can you store a MATLAB variable, each and everything that you need to be knowing on MATLAB variable. So what is MATLAB variable? Completely I'll be sharing you on the topic understanding MATLAB variables. Next is, what are the types of MATLAB variables which are available to us? Are there any types of variables available to us? If there are, what are the types of MATLAB variables? How we'll be able to use them? What is the difference between these types of variables? And all those things. Where do we actually use these variables, and when do we actually use these variables? All those things will be covered to you in the topic types of variables. Next, after understanding these variables and types of variables, we'll be moving on to understand the MATLAB constants. What are the MATLAB constants, how we'll be able to use them, how we'll be able to get access to all these MATLAB constants, and what are the MATLAB constants, which are all the constants which are considered as MATLAB constants, all those details which you need to be knowing on MATLAB on the topic constants. I'll be covering to each and everything on MATLAB constants as well, which you need to be knowing in the beginning phase. The next topic is common operations. What are the common operations which we are able to do or which we are able to apply in the software MATLAB? Right? So what are the basic operations? It can be addition, subtraction, of the basic math in the starting bit, and also there are a lot of other operations as well which MATLAB provides to us. So what are the basic operations which are available to us? So what does it actually provides to us? What we'll be able to implement in the software? And all those basic things will be covered to you under the topic common operations in the MATLAB software. After completing that, we'll be moving on with creating scripts. What is a script, how we'll be able to create a script, how we'll be able to use a script, how we'll be able to give inputs in a script, all those things, how can create, how can you save, all those things will be dealt to you in creating scripts. So what are the advantages of having a script? If you're not having a script and if you're using the normal things or normal place where you are trying to code, what are the difference, what is the difference of using a script? All those things will be dealt to you in the topic creating scripts. After creating scripts, we'll be moving on with the basic math operations. What are the basic math operations which are available to us? We know addition, subtraction, all those things, right? Apart from these, what are the basic math operations? It can be inverse of matrix, transpose of a matrix, all those variables tools which are available to us. So we'll be able to implement a lot of things in MATLAB depending upon the operations which we require. It can be varying on a different basis, right? What all are available to us in the basic math operations? We'll be dealing with that after completing the creation of scripts. And after this, we'll be moving on with MATLAB functions. What is a MATLAB functions? How we'll be able to use a MATLAB functions, and what are the advantages of having a MATLAB functions? How it provides us more ease of doing the operations, and how we'll be able to get the results much faster. All those things will be dealt to you in MATLAB functions. Mat is actually a MATLAB function, and how we can define functions. There are a lot of operations, or there are a lot of MATLAB functions which are available to us, which helps us to ease our operations or ease the use of using the software MATLAB. So apart from that, if you want to create a new function, or if you want to define your own function in a set of operations, you can do that as well. So how you will be able to do that, how you will be able to use the MATLAB function, how you will be able to define your own MATLAB function. So all these things will be dealt in creating a MATLAB function and defining a MATLAB function. Coming to the last topic, which is nothing but basic linear algebra. So how you will be able to find the operations or solve basic linear algebra questions in the form of matrices. What is basic linear algebra? How we'll be able to implement that? How we can get this result? So how can you get the solutions, or how we can solve the solutions in basic linear algebra? So all these things will be dealt to you in this course on the basic MATLAB, so that all the basic elements that you should be knowing prior to going to the advanced level. All those things will be dealt in this course, so that even after completing this course, you will be able to have a great foundation and build your skills on the software MATLAB. So let's get started with our first topic, which is nothing but what is MATLAB? In simple words, we'll be able to say that MATLAB is a high-level language which enables us to do calculations or computations. Let it be simple calculations or even complex calculations. We'll be do all those things in the platform MATLAB. So we can consider MATLAB as a fancy calculator because we are able to do the calculations or computations. Let it be simple or complex. We are able to do that in this platform, right? So we can consider this as a fancy calculator. But that is on a general aspect. That is not enough for you, right? In order to know more about MATLAB, we need to dive deeper into it. Let's dive deeper. So the name MATLAB came from two words, that is matrix laboratory. So it is from these two words the name MATLAB was coined. Mat from matrix and lab from laboratory. So we can understand that MATLAB is nothing but a matrix laboratory. This is a platform which enables us to perform numerical computations and visualizations. So if we need to do any calculations or computations, we will be able to do that, or we'll be able to implement that in the software MATLAB and get the final output or the final result. So as I said, even if it's simple or complex, we'll be able to do, or we'll be able to implement the result, or we'll be able to implement all those things in this software. Not only that, after getting the computations done, or after implementing all the computations, we'll also be able to get the visualization of that. So after implementing this, how is it being implemented? How can we understand the data? All those things can be implemented in the visualization part as well. So after implementing that, we'll be having a complete visualization of the data as well.
That is one advantage of using the software MATLAB. That is enabling us to do the computation and also get a visualization on the data which we have done. It also helps us to plot graphs. It can be 2D graphs or 3D graphs. We'll be able to plot graphs, do animations, and all those things can be implemented in the software MATLAB. So it not only helps us to do the computations, but also get the graphic visualizations in the form of plots, graphs, or even animations as well. MATLAB has got built-in functions, which actually enables us to perform the task very easily. By using functions, we'll be able to get the computations done very easily. We don't need to type it out, or we don't need to give all the statements required in order to get the answer. But just by giving a function, it understands that these many steps or these many calculations are need to be done by using this function. So the software will be able to know what is to be done or what all sets of calculations are need to be implemented just by understanding the functions or just by giving the functions. So that is what we'll be able to do. Apart from that, if we need to give our own functions, which is not actually a default function in the software, we'll also be able to implement our own functions as well. So that by giving our own functions, the software will be understanding that how many calculations or how many sets of calculations or what all steps of calculations are to be implemented by understanding the function. Apart from that, we're also given the opportunity of using toolboxes. Toolboxes are actually nothing but collection of functions. In toolboxes, we'll be able to get a lot of functions which enables us to simplify our tasks, right? So we'll be able to perform our calculations and operations in the MATLAB software very easily using toolboxes as well. And MATLAB has also got a wide variety of applications. Let it be from control system, image processing, signal processing, academic research, fuzzy logic, control system, and many more. So these are the various domains or these are the various sectors in which MATLAB can be applied. So thereby understanding all these domains, you'll be able to know how important the software is. So if you're efficient in the platform MATLAB, it is going to be a huge asset for you because you'll be able to get opportunities from wide variety of domains as well. Now let us move on to the platform and understand the MATLAB GUI, which is nothing but the MATLAB graphical user interface, how you will be able to use the tools, where are the tools and how you will be able to access them and all those things. And let's get familiarized with the software MATLAB. Now we are in the software MATLAB and this is how it looks to you when you open the software MATLAB. So this is the graphical user interface which you will be coming across when you open the MATLAB, and these are the various options which are available to us. So we are having three tabs here: Home tab, Plot tab, and also Apps tab. So coming to the Home tab, in the File section we are having all the options related to file, how to create a file, how to open an existing file, how to create a new script or a new live script. All those things related to file are being marked here. And coming to the next one, which is nothing but variable. So how we'll be able to create a new variable, how to open a new variable, or how to clear the variable which you have stored. All those things can be done in the variable section here. And also the next part is code. So anything related to coding which you have implemented in the platform, all those things, analyze your code, run your code, implement your code, or clear your codes which you have given, all those things can be made available or can be implemented in the code section here in the Home tab. So next one is the environment. So environment is actually nothing but you can design or based on your preferences, all the layouts, how it should be appearing based on your preferences. You can control all those things in the environment section. So coming to the last section is nothing but resources. So while you are implementing any codes or any commands in the platform and you come across an error and you don't know how to solve that error, how to find the algorithm, or how to rightly implement the things or the commands in the right manner. In such cases, you'll be able to ask for help to the platform directly. So you'll be able to ask the software MATLAB how you will be able to correct that step or how you'll be able to rectify that error and move forward implementing what you actually wanted to do. So you can directly ask the software how you will be able to get help and what is the right way of implementing that command. So all those things can be done in the resources section, which will be able to assist you in all those things. So if you're stuck somewhere, this software or the resources area or resources section helps you to get a better understanding on the error and also rectify the error and move forward on what you were actually trying to implement. The next one is plots. Plots actually nothing but I've already mentioned that MATLAB is a software which not only helps you to get the computations done or to get the calculations done, but also a software for visual representation. So you can plot a graph, you can plot sections, plot area, scatter graph, pie charts, histogram, a surface, mesh, and all those things. So these are the various options which are available to us in the plot section in the software. So it not only does as calculations for us, we'll also be able to visualize the data in the form of graphs or charts or even as animations. Coming to the last tab, that is apps. So an apps, we'll be able to design app, get more apps, install an app, based on our domain in which we are working on. We'll be able to accommodate a lot of apps based on that, so that we'll be getting the relevant functions in order to perform the task which we are working on in that particular domain. So that is what home, plots, and apps is all about. So coming to the other area which we are having in the screen. So this command window, which occupies most of the area in the screen, is the part where we give commands. So we give the codes, we give the commands, and we get the results in the command window. So it is kind of an interactive area in the software. So we give commands, we get the results. So that is kind of the applications of the command window. We'll be able to give the inputs, and we'll be getting the outputs. So it is sort of an interactive session or interactive area where we'll be able to communicate with the software. That is what command window does for us. And the next thing is workspace. Workspace is actually nothing but if you're doing anything on the command window or anything, you're implementing anything there, and all the results or output which you're getting will be stored in the workspace. So all the answers, all the storage area can be done, and you can be achieving that, or you can be retrieving all those data in the workspace as well. So that is how workspace works. And the next one is current folder. So you will be able to see where you're working on, in which folder are you working on, where have you saved the folder, and where are you saving your folder. And if you want to open the files from a different folder, you can do all those things. And you can also see that these many files are coming from my C drive, users, my file, Tony Tom, and documents. And in that document, I am open the MATLAB file. These are the various files which are available in the folder MATLAB. So if you want to change that, you can directly move here and change. So in Tony Tom, that is what I have done. So I have documents, I've taken MATLAB. Yeah, this is the area which I need to be working on. This is the folder which I am currently working on, or I would like to work on. So you can, select your folder which you want to work on, and if you want to change the folder which you want to work on, you can do that as well by selecting or changing the things in this tab. So that is how your graphical user interface of the software MATLAB works. And this is actually kind of an familiarization for you, so that you'll be able to know that where are all the options available, when we'll be able to use that. All those things we'll be coming to that in detail while we implement commands in the platform MATLAB. So this is all about the graphical user interface. When you open the MATLAB software, this is how it looks for you, and these are the various options available to us, and these are the areas in which we'll be working on. Will be commands in the command window. All those answers or all those results will be stored here, and this is the current folder region where we'll be storing the data, where the file location is. We'll be able to change the data, all those things, and by changing the folders here, you will be able to work on different folders as well, and all the other options which I've already mentioned here. So this is how the graphical user interface of the software MATLAB looks like when you open the software MATLAB. Now it's time for us to look into understanding MATLAB variables, which is our next topic. So what is a variable? What is a MATLAB variable? What does it do for us? And what are the applications of having a MATLAB variable? Do you know any of this? In simple ways, I can say that variables store data. So that is not enough for you, right? So let's dive a bit deeper into understanding MATLAB variables. So I've mentioned here, the first point here depicts that you will be able to store data in variables. So that is the main function of a variable is if we can store data, let it be a scalar value or a vector value or even as matrices. All the data which we are storing in the MATLAB will be shared as matrices. So you can store the data as scalars or vectors or even matrices. That is one option which is being enabled to us in the software MATLAB as variables. The next one is we'll also be looking on what are the things that you should be making sure while you are storing your data or while you're creating a variable. There are a lot of things that you should be keeping in mind, or else you will be given some errors while you're assigning some variable to any value. So in order to eliminate all such cases, I'll be getting you onto the platform and try implementing in order to create a variable, store of data in a variable, and what are the errors that we can be facing while we are creating a variable. All those things can be dealt in the platform MATLAB. So now it's time to understand MATLAB variable in the platform MATLAB. So let's shift to the platform right now. Now let's see how we'll be able to assign a variable or store data in a variable. So for example, if I'm trying to assign a value to a variable a, so I can do that by doing a equals 6. So here what I'm trying to do is I am able to assign the value 6 in order to the variable a. So the value or the data 6 will be stored in the variable a. So after clicking enter, see, I'll be getting a equals 6. So the value 6 is already being stored in the variable a. And we are implementing the codes or in the command window. And right after implementing that command in the command window, we'll be able to see that in the workspace, a new variable is assigned here and it is being saved and it's been shown to us. So the variable name is a and the value which is stores is 6. So this is how you will be able to see your variables and the value which is stored in the workspace. So for example, let me try a different one. So I'm trying for say c equals 4
minus 3. I'm telling c equal to 4 minus 3. So that calculation, so 4 minus 3 is a calculations. I've already done that calculations, and that result should be stored in the variable c. So that is what I have been trying to implement, or I have been trying to convey to the software, and the software has understood that, and the value or the data 1 has been stored in the variable c, and also we'll be able to see that in the workspace as well. So c is a variable which is being stored, and the value which is hold, or the data which c holds, is 1. So that is how we'll be able to create a variable. So we already did c equal to 4 minus here, right? So what if I'm not assigning any variable? So how will it be? So if I'm not assigning any variable or any variable to the calculations which I'm assigning or which I'm giving to the software, in such situations, will the platform take up that calculations and implement it? So will we be getting a result, and will the data will be stored in the workspace here? So let's see what happens if we are giving a calculations, or if we are giving a command to the software to do some calculations and we are not assigning any variable to it. So what happens? So let's try that out. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a normal calculations like 5 plus 5. Yeah, see, the calculations is being conducted. 5 plus 5, the answer is 10. So that is what they have been depicted. 5 plus 5, answer is 10. And also in the workspace, they are showing answer as a variable and the value which is hold are 10. So they have already done the calculations and implemented the calculations, and this data has been assigned to a variable ans in which the result will be stored into. So if we don't assign any variable to the calculations which we are trying to perform, those things will be stored as a new variable as answer, and it will be stored in the workspace as well. So what if I'm trying to do the same thing again? So I'm trying to do a different calculations at the same time and I didn't assign a variable. So what happens then? Let's see what happens then, right? So I'm also giving 7 plus 4. Sorry, I made a mistake there. I had 7 equals 4. So that can't be done, right? So I made a mistake there. So let me do that. 7 plus 4. See, 7 plus 4, the answer is 11. So it shows me that 7 plus 4, the answer is 11. And this result will be stored in the variable answer. So the previous data will be getting changed. Instead of showing answer as 10, or the data which is being stored in the answer variable as 10, now it's showing 11. This is because the answer variable takes up the most recent input which is given to that. For example, this is not just applicable to the variable answer. If I'm reassigning a different value to the same variable a or c, then also the same thing happens. Let's see how that is done. So here I'm giving a equals 6 plus 1. Right? So the current value of a is 6, and what I'm assigning is a equals 6 plus 1. Then what happens? See, a equal to 6 plus 1 is 7, and that particular data is being stored in the variable a. How many times you assign a value to the variable, only the latest value which you have assigned to that particular variable will be in place, and the previous data will be erased. So whatever value which you have given to the variable, or which you have assigned to the variable, only the recent or the latest value will be assigned, and the previous values which have already assigned will be erased. So that is how it works. Till now, we have considered storing data or assigning data to a variable as single units, right? So what if you want to assign data as a vector or a matrix? So how can you do that? Or how can you assign data to a variable which is of a vector quantity or of a matrix? So how can you do that? So I'll be showing you how we'll be able to do that. So for example, in order to do that, let me say for x equals, so you're trying to apply or assign a vector to the value x or the variable x. So the data which you want to input in the variable x are 1, 2, and 3. You can just type that, close that, and then press enter. See, now this data which is stored in the variable x is a vector, and the vector contains 1, 2, and 3. The software understands that in this variable x, you need to be storing 1, 2, and 3 in one single row, right? So that is what we have tried to convey. So this can be done in a different way as well. So let me show you how that can be done. So x equals, instead of giving spaces in between, you can give commas, 1, 2, 3, and then you can give the close bracket and enter. See, the same things happened. So instead of giving space, you are able to give comma as well. So you will be getting the same output. So in this command, you are asked the software to get in a matrix or get in a vector value where there's only one row and 3 columns. So what if you want to create more rows? That is, you want to create m matrices. How can you do that, right? I'll be showing you that as well. So in order to create a matrix, the command which you need to be giving is, you need to be assigning the variable first. Let's say y is the variable, y equals, open bracket, you can give 1, space 2 space 3. 1, 2, 3 are the elements which is supposed to be in row 1, and you need to shift to row 2. How can that be done? So that can be done by inserting a semicolon. So by giving the semicolon, the software understands that in first row only these 3 elements are to be required. All the elements which is coming after the semicolon is to be coming in the second row. So that is what the software understands by giving a semicolon in between the numbers while you're assigning a value to a variable. So I'm giving 4, 5, 6 and close the bracket, enter. See, I have got a matrix of 2 by 3 where 2 rows are there, 3 columns are there, and 1, 2, 3 are containing in the first row, 4, 5, 6 are coming in the second row. And there are 3 columns. In first column you're having 1 and 4, second column you're having 4 and 5, third column you're having 3 and 6. So we have got a 2 by 3 matrix by assigning value to the variable y just by implementing semicolon between the rows in which we need to separate. So that is how you will be able to create a matrices as well. So what are the errors that you can be making while you create a matrices or while you assign a value to a variable? So how can that be done, or what are the things that you should be keeping in mind? Let me guide you on that. So for example, let me take the same case where you are trying to create a 2 by 3 matrices. How are the errors? What are the things that you should be keeping in mind then? So I'm assuming for the same variable y equals open bracket 1, 2, 3. I've given 3 values to the first row, and for the next row I've given 5 and 6. Sorry, 5 space 6, and I am closing it. So in the second row I don't need any element to be there in the place of 4. So I need the value 0 there, or I don't need any value there, but I just want 5 and 6 to be there in the matrix 2 by 3. So you're trying to do this. So if you're trying to do this, or if you're trying to implement this, after pressing enter, see, you will be given an error. This is because the dimensions of the arrays are completely different. In the first row there are 3 elements, and in the second row there are only 2 elements, which cannot be making a matrix. The software doesn't understand any of your inputs when the number of elements in each of the rows are differing. So make sure that the number of elements in each of your rows are completely matching with other rows as well. Only then the software will be able to detect this as a matrix and create or assign the value or assign the matrix to that particular variable. So make sure that number of units in each of the rows are completely matching to the other rows as well. So if you want to make a 3 by 3 matrix, you can do that as well. Let's say x is equal to open bracket 5 space 2 space 6, and you need to move to the next row, so you need to be giving semicolon. I'm giving semicolon, and the next is 2 space 6 space 1, and I have given 3 elements in the second row as well. I need to have one more row. I'm giving semicolon, and then I'm having the datas 9 space 3 space 7. These are the values which are to be present in the 3 rows of my matrix. So I have already entered the data separating each of the rows by giving a semicolon, and I need to close the bracket and press enter. See, you will be able to create a 3 by 3 matrix. So this is how you will be able to create a matrix. You will be able to assign a value, and you'll be able to create or change the value which you have already been assigned to a particular variable. So all those things can be implemented by using the variable. Now let's see on the types of variables which is available in MATLAB. We already seen variables, what is variable, how to store a variable, how to assign value to a variable, and all those things. Now it is time for us to dive deeper into variables and understand what are the types of variables which are available in the platform MATLAB. So basically the types of variables which is available to us are numerical variables, string variables, and logical variables. In numerical variables, you will be able to assign numerical values to a variable. Not only numerical variables, but also alphabetical variables as well, as long as the number of units in each of the rows are the same. Only then you will be able to implement alphabets also in numerical variables as well. The key thing is that the number of units in each of the rows must be matching the other rows as well. Coming to string variables, what if you want to add or you want to include alphabetical phrases or words or combination of sentences, or all data in such manner so that you need to be adding all those things in matrices. So how can you do that? So how can you add words or combination of letters or words in your matrix? We'll be able to do that in string variables. The main advantage of having string variables is that we need not be making sure that all the number of units in each of the rows need not be same. As far as it is being marked as string variable, we are not concerned, or the software is not concerned on number of units or the number of letters which is being present in each of the rows. It is just that number of elements in each of the rows should be matching and not all the alphabets. So the number of alphabets or the count of alphabets and spaces are not being considered. only the number of elements as a whole is being considered to be matching in all the rows. Coming to logical variables. Logical variables is actually a variable which is assigned, which consists of only two values, that is zeros and ones. Apart from that, if you are inputting any other values apart from zeros and 1, it will not be detecting it, or it will not be replicating or showing to you the data which is not a 0 and 1. So if you are giving any value which is not 0 or 1, the output will be showing as that particular value as 1. No matter if it's not matching, it will not be able to depict that particular value, but only zeros and ones. And if it's not matching 0, everything else will be given as 1. Now let's move to the platform and try to implement the types of variables and understand more on the types of variables in the platform MATLAB. So as part of numerical variable, if you're assigning any variable, any value, we can give a equals 5. See, we have got a numerical variable and the variable is being assigned the data 5. And what if you want to make a variable of numerical type or in matrix? So you want to make a matrix in the numerical type. So how can you do that? Let me show you. The same way, a equals open bracket 631 semicolon. Sorry, I need to separate those things with the space or with a comma. So I'm giving space, and then 9 space 7 space 8, and then close the bracket and then hit enter. So I've got a variable which is of the type numerical, which contains 2 rows and 3 columns, which is of the order 2 by 3. What if I need to have a numerical variable consisting of alphabets? I'll be able to do that as well. So let me do. Then let's consider b equals, hi guys. See, I have got a numerical variable, a variable of the type numerical with alphabets in it. I've got to do that. So in order to make a matrix of the same element or the same content, hi guys, how can I do that? I'll be able to do that by following. For the variable b, second row should be having all the columns that is of the first row, right? So b, first row, all the columns. So here what I try to convey to the software is that I need to have a new row, that is second row, with all the same elements of the columns, and that must be of the row 1. So by taking the first row as the reference, all those things which is in the row 1 of all different columns will be imparted to the row 2 to all those particular columns. That is what we are trying to convey to the software. So after hitting enter, we are getting a matrix of 2 rows and 1 column. But since it's a character array, it will be showing 2 by 7 since there are 7 characters, including space, H, I, G, U, Y, S. So including the alphabets, there are 6 alphabets and 1 space. That 1 space is also considered as character, and that is the reason why it is showing on the size 2 by 7. 2 rows, 7 columns. And now, what if I need to have another row also? But in the third row, I don't need to have hi guys. I need to have hello guys. What can be done then? So is it possible to do that? So let's see. So I need to be telling a third row of all the columns should be equal to hello guys. So let me try if this will be working out. See, there has been an error. This is mainly because I've already mentioned that in numerical variable we should be ensuring that all the elements in all of the rows should be matching with each other. Alright. So I'm having 7 elements in each of the rows. Hi guys. In the first row I'm having 7 elements. Second row I'm having 7 elements. What about the third row? The third row which I've assigned is hello guys. H, E, L, L, O, G, U, Y, S. It has already got 9 alphabets and also 1 space. So the number of characters in the third row would be 10. The number of elements in each of the rows are not matching, or the number of columns in each of the rows are also not matching. That is the main reason why the third row cannot be implemented, because it is not matching with other rows as well. That's the case. So we need to be having same number of elements in each of the rows. Let's try to keep all these things same, but just 7 elements, right? So let me try doing that. B3, colon should be hello guys, right? Hello guys. So it should be containing only 7 letters. So or 7 characters. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, I'm erasing all the other things. So if I am going to implement this, hello G. Since only 7 characters are there, let me try implementing that as well. So will that be working out? It's coming. Hi guys, hello G. This is mainly because the number of characters in each of the rows are matching with each other. So this thing should be made sure that you are implementing this while you are using a numerical variable, right? So only then you will be able to implement that. The only condition is that number of units in each of the rows should be matching. Now let's try understanding string variables, how string variables are different from numerical variables, and how it will help to implement these kind of things in string variables. Now let's look into string variables. So in order to include a string variable, or in order to create a variable of the type string, what we need to be doing is we need to be assigning the variable, and then we need to be including the word string, open the bracket, and just say what you need to have there. Hi guys. Yes, I have got a string here. Hi guys. Though this is of the type string and not of numerical variable. This is one thing that you need to be knowing, that this is of the type string and not just numerical variable. So let me try adding some more elements into the first row. So b equals, first we need to give string, then bracket open, hi guys, space string, hello guys. See here, I have made a mistake. So what I should have been done is, all the statements are correct, but since there are more elements in the one single row, I need to be enclosing that in a square bracket. So I forgot to do that, and please make sure that you do that, or else you'll be getting the same error. Now let me try doing it once again. So b string bracket, then hi guys, close, space string, hello guys. So this is what we had done before, right? So the basic difference, or what I missed out previously, is because I should be enclosing this completely in a square bracket, so that it will be understanding that these are elements of the particular row. So I need to be enclosing it. See, I have enclosed that, and that is the only difference which I should have made in order to get this string array or string variable in hi guys and hello guys. So these are the two elements, and they are not concerned about the characters, only the number of elements. So I can have any number of characters in any element. So it's just that the elements should be matching and not the characters. What if I need to have another row as well? Now I'm having a matrix of 1:2, right? 1 row, 2 columns. So what if I need to have 2:2, 2 rows and 2 columns? How can I create, or how can I add more rows to a string array? Let me teach you. So I'm taking the same variable b bracket open string bracket open again, hi guys, bracket close, space string, hello guys. Okay, then have completed my first row, right? As we did previously, we need to add a semicolon, so that it will be understanding the next elements which are coming is to be going on the second row or the next row. For this, I'm getting string open bracket. What should I say? I should say hi guys, right? So let me give hello guys. I give this thing, okay. Hello guys, space again string, hi guys. And then I should be closing the square bracket and hitting enter. See, what is the mistake I have done? I forgot to close the bracket here. See, it has already mentioning that invalid expression, and something is missing in this particular location. So they are also mentioning where it is missing, right? So they are guiding us here. So here what my mistake was, I opened the bracket here, but I forgot to close the bracket. So since I didn't close the bracket, the software didn't identify what was supposed to be done, but the software thought that this is to be done and just mentioned that is it this that is missing, or is it this that you were trying to implement to us or convey to us. So it already mentioned, so what is the error and how can it be corrected, right? So we need to be giving it again. I'm sorry for doing the mistake. Anyway, I'll be doing it once again. Square bracket, string, hi guys, close the bracket, space, string, open bracket, hello guys, close it and close the bracket. And then completing the row, I should give a semicolon, and then again string, open bracket, hello guys, space, string, open bracket, hi guys, close the bracket, and also finally close the square bracket so that you'll be getting it. See, this is how you will be getting an array of different strings or different characters or different words. So you'll be able to implement this in irrespective of the number of letters or number of alphabets which is present by using a string array. So that only the thing is that the number of elements should be matching even here, but the thing is that you can have any number of letters or any number of alphabets or any number of characters in each of the elements. Now that we have created a matrix of strings, and what if you need to get one element out of the matrix you've already made? So in this matrix, in this particular matrix, which is 2 by 2, we are having 4 elements, right? We are having 2 columns and 2 rows, and in this particular matrix we are having 4 elements. What if from this matrix you need to bring out just one element? How can that be done? We know that hi guys, and this particular element is falling as 1 1, first row, first column. This as 1 2, first row, second column, 2 1 2 1, second row, first column, 2 2, second row, second column, right? So what if I need to be bringing in this last element, that is hi guys, which is belonging to 2 2? How can that be done? That can be done by bringing b 2 comma 2. See, I've got the fourth element here, that is hi guys. What if I need to get the second element in the first row? I'll be getting that by b first row, second column, hello guys. So we'll be able to bring in just the particular element from the whole matrix by giving the coordinates, or in which area is that belonging to, in which column or in which row is it. By assigning the address of that particular element, we'll be able to bring that particular element from the whole matrix separately. The next type of variable available to us is nothing but logical array. I've already mentioned that in logical array, only 2 values can be given, that is zeros and ones. How we'll be able to create an logical array, right? So right now we'll be able to see how we'll be able to create a logical variable. So in order to create a logical variable, I just assign a variable and then type logical, open the bracket, within that open the square bracket, and give the values which you need to be given. I'm giving this, and I need this to be the first element, and I need to move to the second row, so I'm giving semicolon, give a semicolon, and I'm writing the next elements, that is 0 0 1 1. Okay, I'm closing the square bracket and then the curly bracket. Yeah, I've given the data and I'm hitting enter. So I have got a logical array which consists of only zeros and one. What if I have not given the exact values as zeros and ones? What if I have given another number? Let me say 5, 6 or 7 or 8. So what happens then? So as far as you're entering any number and you're mentioning as a logical array or logical variable, the output should be in zeros and ones, right? So the output will always be 0 and 1s, and even if when you have input any other value which is different from 0 and 1, the value which will be depicted in the output will be 1. So if it's 0, it will be depicted as 0 itself, and apart from 0, if you represent any other value, it will be represented just as 1. So let me try doing that as well. So A equals logical, open bracket, square bracket. So I am putting 7, comma 2, comma 3, sorry 4, comma 1. Let me give 0 there, and then semicolon to move to the next row, and then there I'm giving 0, comma 0, comma, there I'm giving 0, comma 0, comma 2, comma 1. See, so I should be getting a complete array or complete matrices only consisting of the numbers zeros and ones. So let me check if I'll be getting a matrix which is consisting only of zeros and ones. See, instead of 7 I've got 1, instead of 2 I've got 1, instead of 4 I've got 1, and 0, since it's 0 it's showing 0 as well. 0 0 0 0, 2 1, instead of 2 it is showing 1, and in the place of 1, since it's 1, it is rightly showing as 1. That is how you will be able to create a logical variable or a logical array. Now that we have completely understood regarding the variables and the types of variables which are available in the platform MATLAB, now it is time for us to understand the constants. What are the constants available in the platform MATLAB and how we'll be able to access those. Let's understand constants. So some of the constants which are available to us in the platform MATLAB are pi, I, exponential, identity matrix, zero matrix, and also one matrix. So we'll be able to know that all these values are not changing. They remain constants no matter what. Alright, so let us go to the platform and identify how to implement and how to access these constants and how that can be done in the platform. So let's move to the platform. So if you want to implement the constant pi, what do you need to be doing? Even if we know the value of pi, we'll be able to access the value of pi as constants. So just by entering pi, you'll be getting the value. Whatever value it is, we'll be able to get the value. So in order to get that value, we can simply give pi and hit enter. See, the value of pi is 3.1416, and that has been depicted in the platform MATLAB. So that is how you will be able to access constants. What if you are assigning some other value to the variable pi? Then pi will be moving from a constant to a variable because you are directly manipulating the value of pi and storing some other data in pi. So it will be behaving as a variable and not a constant because you are giving the value of pi. So for example, if I am giving pi equals 7, see, now the value of pi has changed from 3.1416 to pi equals 7. So all those values have been changed from 3.14 to 7. Now if you give pi and hit enter, you will be given the value of 7 and not 3.14. Just check. Pi, hit enter. See, we are given the value 7. So that now pi acts as a variable because we have assigned the value towards pi. What if you need to get that value of pi back and you don't need to have the value 7 because that is not the actual value of pi, right? So what if you need to get the actual value of pi and not 7? In that case, if you want such things to happen, you can go to the workspace, and here pi's value is written 7 here, right? So you can here click on it and then delete it. So here we are given the option to delete it. So just by deleting it, we'll be deleting the value or deleting the variable pi. Now if we try to enter pi value here and hit enter, see, now here we are getting the actual value of pi, which is actually a constant. Once you are given any value to pi, that value will only be depicted whenever you use the constant pi. So it will be acting as a variable and not a constant. And if you want to get back the original value of pi or any other constants which you have changed it, you just go to the workspace and delete the variable which you have assigned to it. Just by doing this, you will be able to get the actual value of pi back or any other constants. Coming to the next constant, which is nothing but I. What is I? Just hit I and hit enter. See, I is imaginary value, right? So I is 0 plus 1 times I, 1.000 times of I. So that is the value of I. So the next constant which we are going to be looking at after looking pi is I. What is I, right? So what is the value of I? How can you access the constant I? So just to get the value of I, you can just press I and hit enter. So that you'll be getting the value of I, which is nothing but 0 plus 1 times I. The other way around where we'll be getting the value of I is by square root of minus 1. See, this way also we'll be able to get the constant I, 0 plus 1 times I. And what if you want to get the other way around? You can also get the other way around, which is nothing but I times I. See, you're getting the answer as minus 1. Square root of minus 1 is I times I is minus 1, right? That is how it should be coming. So we talked about pi and I. What are the other constants available to us? E. So in order to get the value of e, you need to type exp of 1. See, this is the value of e, and in order to get the value of the constant exponential, we have to type in exp of 1 in order to get the value. That is nothing but 2.7183. Now what if you want to create an identity matrix, right? In order to create an identity matrix, we will be able to assign the variable I equals identity matrix. How does it look like? It will be looking like all the diagonal elements will be 1 and all the rest of the other elements will be 0. So in order to get that part done, I'll be opening the bracket 1 0 0 semicolon to move to the next row, 0 1 0 and semicolon to move to the third row, that is 0 0 1. Close the bracket, hit enter. See, we have got the identity matrix of the size 3 by 3. So what is the other way around in which we'll be able to directly get the identity matrix? So now what we have done is nothing but we have given the values, we given the elements separately or individually from our end in order to create the identity matrix. So what if you want to create an identity matrix just by giving a single command? Is that possible? Yes, that is possible. So in order to create an identity matrix, you can type in EYE and given the size or the dimension. Do you want a 3 by 3 I matrix, 5 by 5 I matrix, or 4 by 5 or 4 by 4 ID matrix? Depending upon your interest or your requirement, you'll be able to give that particular value. So I'm trying to give 4 by 4. So I'll be giving I 4 and I hit enter so that I'll be getting 1 as the diagonal element. So all the diagonal elements are appearing as 1 and the rest of all the elements are appearing as 0, and I am getting an identity matrix. So how is that possible? I'll be able to individually give all the elements one by one, or else I'll be able to use the constant option as EYE, and in the brackets I can give the number of rows and columns. That is how I give the identity matrix. And what about 1 matrix and 0 matrix, where it is completely based on that particular value? So if I want to get a matrix of 1, so what I should be doing is I should be typing in ones, and in the bracket I should be mentioning dimension or the number of rows and columns which I require, right? So if I'm simply writing as 3 and I close the bracket and hit enter, I'll be getting a ones matrix which consists of 3 rows and 3 columns. What if you don't want a square matrix? You want the matrix of ones to be of 5 by 4 matrix. How can that be done? And you don't need a square matrix. That can also be made possible. So for that, you can try to type in 1, and if you want to get a 5 by 4 matrix, you can give 5, 4, hit close the bracket and then hit enter. Here I've made a mistake. That is nothing but I've written 1 instead of ones. That is a mistake which I've done. So I'm giving it once and then I'm giving the, I'm sorry, I again made a mistake here. So here what the software asks me is that, did you mean 1s 5 4? So the software understand that we are trying to get a ones matrix which is having 5 rows and 4 columns, and the software noticed that and software understood that we are trying to do that, and it's asking me whether I need to implement that, right? So I made a mistake and software is asking me whether this is what you are looking for, and already gave the command for that. So I shall be clicking enter there, and I'll be getting ones matrix which consists of 5 rows and 4 columns. What if I need to get a zeros matrix as well? So same applies here as well, zeros, and I'm giving 3. I'll be getting a 3 by 3 matrix on zeros. So if I need to have a 3 by 2 matrix, I can give that as well. 3 2, yes, I'm getting a 3 by 2 matrix on zeros. So that is how you will be able to create constants and how you will be able to create ones, zeros, identity matrix as well. Now let us look into some of the common operations which we are implementing in the software MATLAB. So let's dive deeper into the common operations. Some of the common operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, whose, and creating a submatrix, and many more. So in order to understand more of these in detail, let me take you to the platform and try implementing all these operations so that you're having a high clarity and clear picture on what I'm trying to convey. So let's move on to the platform and identify some of the common operations in MATLAB. So in order to begin with some of the common operations in MATLAB, let me firstly tell you that in the command window itself, you can see that there are a lot of statements, right? these many statements are there. So what if you don't need any of these statements, and what if you need to clear all those as well? Apart from that, here in the workspace also we are having a lot of variable assigned, and these are the values or the data which is being stored to all these variables, right? So what if you need to clear all these things? You need to clear the data, you need to clear the screen, you need to clear the commands and all those things. What can be done? What operation is to be done in order to clear the data which is assigned to the variable, and also clear your command window? So in order to clear the data in workspace which is being assigned to each of the variables, what you can do is you can give the command clear all and hit enter, so that after implementing clear all the data which is being assigned to each of the variables have been erased. All those things have been removed. Now what if you need to clear all these data which you have been presenting or which we have been putting forward in the command window? In order to do that, or in order to clear all your data in the command window, you are given the option to use clear screen option, right? So in order to implement that, you can just type CLC and hit enter, so that your command window will be cleared completely, so that you don't have anything on your command window, and also your workspace is also clear. Therefore, I'm repeating, in order to clear your workspace, you need to use clear all in order to clear all your variables which have been assigned some data. And in order to clear your command window from all the scripts or commands or all the codings, what you can do is you can clear all those things just by entering CLC. And what are the other basic operations or other common operations which we are implementing? Just by 8 plus 9, how much is it? 8 plus 9 is 17. We are having a basic operation as addition. What if you want to do subtraction? 7 minus 2. 7 minus 2 is 5. We have done the operation subtraction as well. What if you want to multiply something? 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. All those things are being able to do, right? So these are the basic operations which you will be able to do. So here I have not assigned any variable. So let me try using these operations by assigning some variables. So C equals 4 into 6. Sorry. So I meant to type it out, C equals 4 into 6, but I accidentally mentioned C equal to 486. Let it be like that. Let me do like this. A equals C divided by 4. See, I've also mentioned, or I have also done an operation on C divided by 4, which is nothing but 486 divided by 4, and we have got the answer as 121. So that is how we'll be able to implement the operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Alright. So what if you need to know the details of the variables which is being stored? What is the size and all those things? What are the characteristics? What are the class in which it is calling under? You need to know all those things. What can be done in order to get the details of the variables, right? So in order to get the details of the variable A, what I can do is size, and in brackets I can give hey. I've got that the size of the variable A is 1 by 1. That is nothing but 1 row, 1 column. See, this A is having only one element, right? So it is having only 1 row and 1 column. That is why the size of this variable, that is A, is given as 1 by 1. There is only 1 row and 1 column. What if you need to check for something else? Let's say B equals square bracket 5 semicolon 7 semicolon 8. Close enter. So I've got a matrix 5, 7, 8, which is of the order 3 by 1. And by looking for size, I should be getting this as 3 by 1 since there are 3 rows and only 1 column. Let me check if I am getting the right answer. So for that, size of B. See, I'm getting 3 by 1. That is 3 rows and 1 column. So that is how I'll be able to get the size of the variable. How much rows is there, how much column is being enabled, and all those things can be known by using the size. And what if you need to know more than the size? You need to know much more details on that or on that particular variable apart from the size. And what if you need to know more details on the variable and apart from the size? So it's not that size you want to be knowing. Apart from the size, you need to be knowing other details as well. In order to get that, what can be done? So we have got an option whose. Just by entering whose, we'll be getting complete data on that. So just by typing in whose, we are given the data of the size, bytes, and class. And also any other data if we require, we'll be able to add that as well. For the variable A, we are getting the size as 1:1, which is having 8 bytes. And we're having answer that is 3, 1, that is of the order 1:2. That is because it is having only 1 row and 2 columns. And all such data or more detailed data can be collected by using the option whose. And if you just want to know the size, you can go for this option size. or if you want a much more detail on that, you can go for whos as well. And when you're coming to the workspace as well, if you right click here, you'll be getting a lot more options as well. You'll be able to see the value, size, bytes, class, minimum, maximum, range, median, mean, mode, variance, standard deviance, everything. So you'll be able to get more details as well. So what if you need to get the maximum value? See, this is the maximum value, a 121, 3, 8 and 486. So all these things can be made. So you see here in the variable b 578, the maximum value is 8. So we are getting the maximum value 8 for b here in this column. So here, and for variable a and s, that is answer. So there are two elements, that is 3 and 1. Out of these two elements, which is the maximum value, that is 3. So we're getting that maximum value here as well. You'll be able to get more values here, right? Maximum, range, mean, median, all those things can be collected using this tool. So in the workspace also, we'll be able to get more details. Class, what is a class? It is double class. What is the size? Size is 1:1, 1:2, 3:1, 1:1 for all these corresponding variables. So we'll be able to get a much detailed answer or much detailed details of each variables by using these many ways. By using size, we'll be getting the size of the variable. By using whos, we'll be getting the size and all the other categories in which it is available. So all details depending upon which variable it is, all those things can be made available to us. And the last part of some common operations is when you are given a matrix and you need to create a submatrix out of the given matrix, how can that be made, right? So that is nothing but you're given a 4x4 matrix, for example, and from this 4x4 matrix, you need to create a small matrix, maybe 2x2 matrix out of the 4x4 matrix. How can you do that? So let me show you how that can be done. So before doing all those things, let me do the clear all. So all the data in workspace are left, and then CLC in order to clear all the command window. So I'm getting a fresh command window and fresh workspace. So let me try creating a 4x4 matrix in order to create a submatrix from that matrix. So A equals 1, 2, 3, 4 semicolon 5, 6, 7, 8 semicolon 2, 3, 4, 5 semicolon and 7, 8, 7, 6, 5. So this is having 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 columns and 4 rows, and I am closing the bracket and hitting enter. See, now I have got a 4x4 matrix. And from this 4x4 matrix, what if I need to create a submatrix? How can I do that, right? That was what my concern is. So what if I need to get these data? 6, how can I get the 6, 7, 3, 4? How can I get that submatrix? So how can that be done? So in order to get that, we know that 6, 7, 3, 4 are falling under the rows 2 and 3 and column 2 and 3. So we will be able to know that 6, 7, 3, 4 lies in the rows 2 and 3 and also the columns 2 and 3. So we know that by intersecting these two columns and these two rows, we'll be getting the required submatrix. In order to get that, what we need to be doing is A, open bracket, and first we need to be telling the software which all rows do you want. So I need 2 and 3. 2 is to 3. So the rows which are required are 2 and 3, and then comma, which are the columns which are required. The columns which are required are also 2 and 3 is 2, 3, and close the bracket. And I'm hitting enter. So that see, I am getting this particular matrix, which is a submatrix of this particular matrix, right? So I have got this submatrix that is 6, 7, 3, 4 just by mentioning the rows and columns. What if I need to get some other submatrix, say 4, 5, 6, 5? I need to be getting this last 4 digits or last 4 elements to create a new matrix. How can that be done? So there, let me find out which are the rows and columns which intersect in order to form this submatrix. So 3 and 4 are the rows, and 3 and 4 are also the columns in which that submatrix forms under, right? So instead of 2 and 3, I should be mentioning A, 3 is to 4, comma, 3 is to 4. See, I have got 4, 5, 6, 5. This is how you create a submatrix from a whole big matrix. So if you want to create a submatrix, this is how you should be doing. Now let's understand how we'll be able to create scripts in the platform MATLAB. How we'll be able to create scripts, how we'll be able to give the commands, how we'll be able to code, and also how we'll be able to run the codes in script. Let us see how we can do that. So in order to start making or creating a script, what we need to be doing is, in the home tab, we are directly given an option to create new script. Just by clicking that, we'll be able to have our own new scripts. So if I'm trying to work out, or if I'm trying to giving commands in the script, we can simply do it in the normal ways as well. So a equal to 55, I'm assigning the value of 55 to a, the variable a. And then I'm assigning b as 32. And I'm also mentioning that c is a minus b. So that is what I'm trying to do. So after pressing enter, see, one thing you've noticed is that while you're doing any commands in the command window, you'll be noticing that just after hitting enter, you'll be given the output, right? So just after hitting enter, you'll be given the output. So a equal to this thing. And when you mentioned that, you need the rows of 2 and 3 and columns of 2 and 3, you got the output. So just by mentioning the output and hitting enter, at that particular moment itself, you used to get the output, right? But that is not the case when you are using commands or when you are giving codes in scripts. So whenever you are giving your codes to commands and scripts, it will be stored there, and then only when you give the command or when you click on run, only then your commands or codes will be compiled, and then only you will be getting the outputs. So anyway, even though if you're creating your commands and giving all your inputs through the scripts, it will be shown, or the output will be shown to you in the command window itself. So in order to get your output here, so what will your output be? So in order to get the output for the commands which you have given in the scripts, what you need to do is you need to click on run. And when you click on run, before running it, they'll be asking you to save your script. So only after saving it, you will be able to compile it and run it and show the output. So in order to get your script or get your codes compiled and run, you need to be clicking on the run option and to be asking you to save it. So they're asking me to save it. So I am saving it as MATLABWorks1.m would be the extension for MATLAB files. So I am going to give it that way. I have saved it. So I have got the file name here. So in editors, in users, term, documents, MATLAB, MATLABWorks1.m. So that is a file which I'm working on. So in order to run, I'll be able to do that. So see, here the commands have already been executed and the result have been also shown. So MATLABWorks is the file name which have been executed. So a is 55. I have already mentioned a is 55 and assign 32 to the variable b, and b is 32, and c is nothing but a minus b. A minus b, that is 55 minus 32, which is 23, right? So 55 minus 32 is 23, and we have got the answer. What if you just need to get the output? You just need to get the final output, and you don't need to get the output which you're assigning to a and b. So here, if you see, you are getting a is 55, b is 32, right? So what if you don't need the output, that is a is 55 and b is 32, because you're already giving the input and you don't want to see the input. You just want to see the output which you're getting. So in order to do that, in order to mention that, you don't need to mention the values of a and b. You just need to show the result of C, which is of the calculation a minus b. So in order to make the software understand that, you just need to understand that a is 55 and b is 32, and I just need to see the value of C. So in order to that to happen, you can be giving semicolon at the end of the commands, in which you don't need the output for each of the steps, right? So for only the steps, you can ignore semicolon. Only those steps or only those commands will be given the output for. All the other steps will be stored but will not be dedicatedly shown to you in the command window. So in order for that to happen, you can kill the semicolon and then run it once again. See, MATLABWorks C is 23. This is what we have got. So let me run it clearly for you. CLC, I have cleared the screen, there's nothing else. And let me run it once again to make it clear for you. See, I've run it and I've got the MATLABWorks, and A is 55, B is 32 is not being shown in the output part because I have put semicolon. And only C, that is A minus B, is already being shown. So let me try removing semicolon and then try running it. So before that, I'm clearing this CLC and clearing this and trying to run it once again. See, I've got A's value written, I've got B's values written, I've also got the calculations of C. That is how you will be able to get the output suppressed. So if you want to suppress the output, you will be able to include semicolon at the end of each of the steps. And one more thing which I would like to mention here is that, you're coding, right? So there is no code or there is no step which you're putting in simply. Each and every code means something, and each and every code tries to understand something or tries to give some knowledge or give some inputs to the software. So what if you're coming later at a later stage and trying to find out why you have put the code? At a later stage, when you're trying to go through all the data which you have given or all the codes which you have given, it might be difficult for you to get why you have given this code at this particular point of time, because you are coming back for a long time and you might not easily get it right.
So it's always better for you to give commands for yourself, not for the software, but for your reference when you're coming back at a later stage, and it will be easy for you to recognize why you have given this particular code. So in order to recognize those steps, in order to know why you have given these particular codes at these particular steps, in order to know that very easily, you can give declarations for your purpose, for you to easily recognize why you have given it. So in order to recognize all those things, you have an option to declare all those things just after giving a percentage symbol. So if whatever you're typing in after the percentage symbol doesn't count for the software, it is just a reference for you to understand why you have given it. So for example, if I need to mention that after this step, I need to mention that percentage assigning value for A. So I have come across, I can give the step after this. See, I'm getting to know that assigning value for A, and here assigning value for B, and here what I'm going to do is final result. So I'm going to get final result by implementing C equal to A minus B. So if you're running it again, these things which is represented in green color will not be shown in output and will not be conveying anything to software. This is completely dedicated for you to understand at a later point of time why you have done this code. So I'm running it. See, I've done it. Math works equal to 55, b equal to 32. So for a change, I am changing the value here for a better understanding. 13 and 50 and 30. I'm running it again. B math work equal to 50, b equal to 30, c equal to 20. That is how you will be able to do declarations or commands for yourself as well, so that you can be able to understand why you have given the command at that particular point of time. Now it's time for us to go through some of the basic math operations in the platform MATLAB. So how we'll be able to implement math operations and what are all the math operations which are available to us, right? So I'll be briefing you on that now. So let me clear the script right now. So I'm closing it and clear all CLC. So I have cleared both the workspace and the command window. So we all know that in the platform MATLAB, everything happens in matrix form, right? So let it be addition, subtraction, multiplication, everything happens in the form of matrix multiplication, matrix addition, matrix subtraction, like that, right? So let me, form a matrix and then show you how the math operations are being implemented in the platform MATLAB. So let me create a matrix. So now to create 1, 2, 3, comma 5, 4, 3, semicolon 7, 6, 3. So yeah, have created a MATLAB matrix that is A. So I've created a matrix and assigned to the variable A. So how we'll be able to implement math operations, right? So in order to implement a math operation, we need two terms. So where is the next term? So I'm creating the next term. B equals, open the bracket, 0 to 7, semicolon 1, 7, 3, semicolon 9, 3, 7. Closing the bracket, hitting enter. So I have got two matrices A and B. So how we'll be able to perform matrix addition and matrix subtraction, right? So in order to perform matrix addition, let me give C equals A plus B. So C equals A plus B. So this is the matrix addition done. See, 1 plus 0 is 1, 2 plus 2 is 4, 3 plus 7 is 10, 8 plus 9 is 17, 6 plus 3 is 9, and 3 plus 7 is 7. Same applies with the middle row as well. So this is how you will be able to implement matrix addition. What if you want to get the matrix subtraction? That is also made possible. So how can we do that, right? So we'll be able to do that by mentioning C equals A minus B. So we'll be able to get that as well. We know that A is 1 and B is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. 3 minus 7 is minus 4. 3 minus 7 is minus 4. So we are getting the matrix addition and multiplication, right? So we have understood how to implement matrix addition and matrix multiplication. So now let me tell you how you will be able to multiply two matrices, how matrix multiplication can be implemented. So we are having two matrices A and B. So let me highlight it here, A and B. So these are the two matrices A and B. How we will be able to multiply the matrix? That is matrix multiplication, right? That is A matrix multiplied by B matrix. See, now we have got the matrix multiplication. So basically, how is matrix multiplication happening? So matrix multiplication is happening like all the elements of the row which is multiplied by the next matrix, all the elements in the column of the next matrix. That is how matrix multiplication is being done. That is nothing but all the elements of the rows in first matrix is multiplied all the elements of the column in the second matrix. So that is how the summation of these are taken. That is how matrix multiplication is taken. So since both the matrix A and B are of the same size, that is nothing but 3 by 3. Both A and B are of the dimension or of the size 3 by 3, right? Since that has the case, we didn't have to check for any of the criteria or any of the errors. But one thing which you need to be making sure while you're doing your matrix multiplication is that the number of columns of the first matrix should be matching the number of rows of the second matrix. So that is one thing you need to be keeping in mind, because only then you will be able to implement matrix multiplication. And if this is not satisfied, you will be shown error. Let me give an example on that. So let me say A is 1, 2, 3, semicolon, 3, 2, 1. So I have created a 2 by 3 matrix. I have created a 2 by 3 matrix A. Now also I am making a 2 by 3 matrix for B as well. So 5, 3, 1, colon, semicolon, 8, 4, 7, closing the bracket. So I have got two matrices that is of the size 2:3 or 2 by 3, that is 2 rows and 3 columns. So if you're trying to implement matrix multiplication to these two matrices, it will not be possible. This is because that in the first matrix we are having 3 columns, and in the second matrix B we are only having 2 rows. So what you should be keeping in mind while you're doing your matrix multiplication is that number of elements or number of columns in the first matrix should be matching with the number of rows in the second matrix. So if you try to multiply these two, it will be showing an error. See, this can't be implemented. This is because number of columns in the first matrix is not matching the number of columns of the second matrix. So what can be done in here? Here we can take a transpose of the matrix B and try doing that, because even if we're taking transpose of the matrix B, we'll be having 3 rows, right? So let me take transpose. B equal to B transpose, and I've got B as this term. That is of the size 3 by 2. I'm having 3 rows and 2 columns. See, if I'm checking here, number of columns in A is 3, number of rows in B is 3. So the condition is being satisfied that number of columns of the matrix 1 is matching with the number of rows of matrix 2. So if I'm trying to implement matrix multiplication here, A star B, it will be possible because it is satisfying the condition. That is how you will be able to create matrix multiplication. Now what if you need to do individual element multiplication? How you will be able to do multiplication with the corresponding elements in two matrices? How you will be able to do that, right? So let me tell you how you can do that. For that to happen, you need to have the two matrices of the same dimension. That is, if it is 3 by 3, the other matrix also should be 3 by 3. So make sure that all the matrices which you're trying to implement for element multiplication in a matrix, the one condition that you should be taking care of is that both the matrices are having of the same dimension or the same size. So let me create a matrix for that. So A equals 1 space 7 space 4 semicolon 9 space 4 space 1, and have created a matrix A. And I am trying to create another matrix of the same dimension. This 5 space 3 space 1, and then 0 space 5 space 8. So I have created two separate matrices of the same dimension. So what if I need to multiply or I need to apply individual multiplication to each of the elements of the two corresponding matrices? In order for that to happen, I can say C equals A dot star B. See, what I have done is all the individual elements are being multiplied. 1 into 5 is 5, 7 into 3 is 21, 4 into 1 is 4, 9 into 0 is 0, 4 into 5 is 20, and 1 into 8 is 8. This is how you will be able to understand, or you will be able to implement element multiplication in two matrices. So the one thing you need to be making sure is that both the sizes of the two matrices are same. Now let us understand regarding the functions which are available to us in the platform MATLAB. What are the functions and how we'll be able to use the functions and implement those, right? So let me tell you regarding that.
So functions help you to perform the calculation in much easier way. So you don't need to define the steps or mathematical calculations which you need to be carrying out each and every time. So if you define the function and if you ask the software to take up that function and perform the values to that function, you'll be getting the result for all the steps in that particular functions. So just by mentioning that function, all the calculations which is implemented in that particular function will be carried out. We just need to give the value for that particular function to be implemented and what is the variable should be. So by giving that variable value, we will be able to get the output for that particular function, and we don't need to be going around and giving all the steps which is required to implement that particular function. So that is the main advantage of having function. Some of the common functions which we are having in the platform MATLAB are basically trigonometric functions, which includes sine, cosine, tangents, and also apart from that we can use exponential, logarithmic, and also square root, exponential, and all such tools or all such functions are being made available in the platform MATLAB. Let's see some of the functions which are available to us. So basically, if I'm trying to show some examples of functions, I can give the values of sine 0. So while implementing sine 0, we'll be getting the output as 0 because sine 0 is 0. What about cos 0? Cos 0. We know cos 0 is 1. So let's see what is the output we are getting. Cos 0 is also 1. So we're getting the output cos 0 as 1 and also sine 0 as 0. Let me see what about tan. Tan is also a trigonometric function, right? Tan 0. How will tan 0 be? So we know that tan is nothing but sine by cos. Sine, the value of sine 0 is 0. Cos 0 is 1. 0 by 1 is 0 itself. So we need to be getting the answer as 0 itself. So are we getting it? Yes, we are getting the answer for tan 0 as 0 itself. Apart from sine, cos, and tan, the other functions which are available to us in the platform MATLAB are logarithmic, exponential, and also square root. So these are the various functions which are available to us apart from just basic mathematical functions like sine, cos, and tan. Let us try implementing some of those functions as well. So exponential can be written as exp of 1. So exponential of 1 is 2.7183, and for exponential of 2 will be 7.3891. And what if you want to find out the log values? So log of 1 would be 0 and log of 2 would be 0.6931, and you can also try for log of exponential 0. So what would that be? That is 0. So log of exponential 0 is 0. So we'll be able to find log functions, exponential functions, and also square root functions. So square root of 100 would be 10. 10 squares are 100. Square root of 25, square root of 25 is 5. And what about other values as well? Square root of 45 would be 6.7082. So these are the other functions which are available to us as well. Now let me explain to you how we'll be able to create our own function, or how we'll be able to define our own function so that we don't need to carry out a lot of steps together. So just by defining the functions and implementing that functions, the software understands that by mentioning this function, the user has mentioned us to implement these many steps and put the relevant output for these many steps, so that the user need not type each and every steps, so that you'll be getting the right answer directly without any formalities or without any delay. So in order to create a function, how can you do that? So in order to create a function, you can go directly for new and function. So in order to create a function, you can get the output function here. You can erase this, and function of y is, and you need to be getting the, you need to be naming the function. So my function, I'll be naming it my function. Okay, that will be like this, my function on x. That is what I am going to name my function. And what does it actually do? So what does it actually do, or what it should be doing? So I should be defining the function here. So for example, I'm just defining a basic function here just for you to understand that we'll be able to get a function. So in order to make it easy for you and easy for you to understand, I'm typing it out like 30 plus x. So for every value of x which I'm giving, I'll be getting an answer x plus 30. So for that particular value, 30 will be added. So that is a basic function or basic equation which I have mentioned right here, just for you to understand it very easily, so that whenever you use the function my function of any particular value, 30 will be added to it, right? So that is a basic function which I have created, and based on your purpose or your requirement, you may be able to create a function for your purpose which satisfies your purpose. So after giving all these things, now we should be saving it, right? So before running it, we need to be saving it. Only then it will be implemented or it will be run and the output will be shown to us. So just by asking it to run, they'll be asking us to save it. So make sure that the file name and the function name should be exactly same. My function name is myfunc, my function, and that should be matching it the file name as well. Only then the function will be running when you give the function. That is one thing you should be keeping in mind. So that name should be same. So I have named it same, and then what I need to be doing is, so I need to be giving the command, right? So I am trying to get my function of 100. So what would be the output? So the output would be 130. That is because my function was to add 30 to the value which I am giving. So the value which I have given is 100, and the result which I am getting for the function, my function, is 130. This is because I have told the user, or I have told the software to add 30 to the value which I am giving in my function. That is what exactly they have done. So instead of adding 100 by myself, I can select the function, I can give the function, and the function takes care of what is to be done to the value which I have set. So based on your purpose or based on your requirement, you can modify the function to get what you are required of or what you are in need of. So you will be able to modify your function and create a function which satisfies your conditions or your requirement. Now let's get to know regarding the basic linear algebra in the software MATLAB. How we'll be able to solve the basic linear algebras using the software. Have you ever wondered how we'll be able to solve those linear algebraic equations using the platform MATLAB? So here I am going to teach you how we'll be doing that. So basically what I'm trying to do, or what the question is, I'll be sharing you that question first. So basically, so this is the question which we are trying to solve. X plus y plus z equals to 6x minus 4y plus 5z equals 31. 5x plus 2y plus 2z equals 13. So this is the equation which we are trying to do, and the solution for this is 3, minus 2 and 1. So if you put the values of x as 3 and y as minus 2 and z as 1, you'll be getting these answers. So let us try how we'll be able to find these answers, or let us try to find, or let us try to solve the questions or solve the solutions for these questions using the software MATLAB. So in order to perform these equations to solutions in the platform MATLAB, I'll be able to use a MATLAB and then try to find it out. So let me do that. So the first equations would be A equals what? A equals what? 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. That is the coefficient of the first expression, colon, and next comes 6 minus 4, 5. 6 minus 4, 5, colon, semicolon, and then we are having 5, 2, 2. 5, 2, 2. So this is what we are having right now, right? So this is the matrix. So this is the first matrix. So this is what we have got right now. And yes, we have got that matrix, and we need to find the last one, that is 2, 31, 13. That is what our C matrix would be, our multiplication matrix would be. C would be 2, 31, 13. 2, semicolon, 31, semicolon, 13. So we know that, when you're applying matrix multiplications, the number of column in the first matrices should be matching the number of rows in the second matrix. So that is the reason why we are considering the last matrix as 3:1 matrix. So we have got that matrix as well. This is nothing but, sorry, I made a mistake, I guess. It is not 130, it is 13. So I'll be doing that again. 2, semicolon, 31, semicolon, 13. Close bracket, hit enter. 2, 31, 13, right? 2, 31, 13. So let us try how to find that. So generally, while we solve any equation, the general equation would be ax equals b, right? So here a would be the matrix A, and x would be the value which we need to be finding out, and b would be c here. So in order to find the value of x, we know that x will be b by a, right? So in order to take a to the other side, we can take inverse of a and then multiply it with b, which is nothing but c in our case. So in order to do that, we should be finding inverse of a and multiplying it with b in this case. Yeah, so let us find the inverse of a first. So I'm repeating, so I just implemented that unknowingly. So let us find inverse of A initially. So inverse of A. Yes, I've got the inverse of A, and in order to get the value of X, I need to be multiplying this inverse of A with C. So multiplying inverse of A with C. See, our answer is 3 minus 2, 1. So we have got the answer for this solution, or for this basic linear algebraic equations. The answer for this will be 3 minus 2, 1. So let us check by substituting these values in these equations. So 3 minus 2, 1. 3 minus 2 plus 1 is 2. We'll be getting the answer. 6x minus 4y plus 5z equals 31. Let's check if that satisfies. So 6 into 3 is 18. 4 into 2, that is minus will be plus, that is 8. So 18 plus 8, 26. 26 plus 5, 31. That is nothing but 31. So the equation is satisfied. So third equation, 5x plus 2y plus 2z equals 13. Let's try to check it out if it is being satisfied. 5 into 3 is 15. 15 minus 2 into 2, 4. So 15 minus 4 would be 11. 11 plus 2 into 1, that is 2. 11 plus 2 is 13. So the equation is being satisfied. So for this linear algebraic question, the solution is 3 minus 2 and 1. So that is what we are getting in the platform, 3 minus 2 and 1. So this is how you will be able to implement linear algebraic equations in the platform MATLAB. This is as simple as that. So by now we have come to the end of this course. I hope you have completely understood complete basics on MATLAB. This is simple as this in order to get used to the software MATLAB. So coding part is also very simple, that it is very easy for you beginners to start with MATLAB and become a professional or expertise in the software. That is all in this course. And let us now move on and see what we have completely covered in this complete code. So basically we started off this course by explaining on what is MATLAB, what is the software MATLAB doing for us, and what are all the applications that MATLAB is able to provide to us. And we also came to know that MATLAB is a high level language which is able to do many of the complex and even simple calculations and computations, and also get a visualized data for us to understand or interpret the data very easily. And then we came across the graphical user interface, which is nothing but GUI. So we went to the platform and came across the various options which is available to us, where we are doing the coding, where we are getting the result, how we will be able to give the code, how we will be able to run the code, and where are all the options available, where is it located, and what should we be doing, where should we be clicking, and all those things. We became familiar with the software by understanding the graphical user interface. And then we came to know regarding the MATLAB variables. What is a MATLAB variable? What are the types of MATLAB variables, right? What is a MATLAB variable? MATLAB variable is actually nothing but which helps you to store data. So what are the values which you're having, and in order to perform your calculations and all, you should be storing some data. Only then you will be able to do the calculations and save it, right? So just by that, we'll be able to do MATLAB variables and also the types of MATLAB variables. So what are the types of MATLAB variables? Nothing but numerical variable, string variable, logical variable. So these are the three types of MATLAB variables which is available to us. And then we also moved on to understand what is the constant. What are the constants which is available to us in MATLAB? Pi, I, exponential, logarithmic. These are all the various constants which are available to us. Apart from that, we also mentioned about the identity matrix, one matrix, zero matrix, and many more. Apart from that, we also saw about creating script, how we'll be able to create script, how we'll be able to save script, and where should we save our script, and what are the implications which you need to be doing, and how we'll be able to suppress the output just by giving semicolon. And we saw many more on creating scripts as well. Then we came to basic math operations, how we'll be able to do the math operations, what are the basic math operations, addition, subtraction, implementation of individual element multiplication, element addition, and how we'll be able to bring in a submatrix from a big whole matrix, and all those things which we came to know in basic math operations. Apart from that, then we moved on to MATLAB function. What is a MATLAB function, and how we'll be able to define a MATLAB function, right? So MATLAB function includes mathematical functions like sine, cos, tan, also exponential, logarithmic, and many more, even square root. So these are the basic mathematical functions. And apart from that, we'll also be able to create our own function or define our own function to the software, so that it will be easy for us just to call for that function, and just by giving the values, whatever values are we needing, or whatever calculations are to be done with the value which we are giving, it will all be done by the software, and it will be giving us the output. So that is how MATLAB function works, and how we'll be able to define a MATLAB function. Then finally, we moved on to the topic basic linear algebra, how we'll be able to solve basic linear algebraic questions by understanding how we'll be able to implement, right? So we actually took an example and solved actually one problem where it contains three equations with three variables, and through mathematical operations, we came to know what are the values of x, y, and z. That is how we'll be able to perform mathematical operations, especially in the linear algebra category. So it is actually a completely simple tool where even if you know no coding, and even if you're a complete beginner in coding, and if you know anything on coding, even then MATLAB is a software which is available for you where you will be able to code pretty much easily and get the output for that. Since this is applicable for a wide variety of sectors and domains, if your expertise in MATLAB, it will be very helpful for you to get opportunities in very vast domains. So I hope you have enjoyed this particular course and got a wonderful idea and concept on MATLAB and had a pretty much great foundation for your MATLAB base. Thank you for joining me in this course and completing this course, and goodbye, good luck. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any new update or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoyed this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on this video any queries or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments.